Hello, callers. Welcome back to Viva Barca and welcome to another interesting episode where we are going to discuss on some interesting updates. We begin with Clement Lenglet as the Barca outcast is closing in on the transfer to Al Nassr. He has changed his mind as there were previous reports saying that he prefers staying in Europe, but right now a move to Al Nassr looks very close. We are going to discuss on that as we progress. Secondly, in this episode, talking about Lamine Yamal, as Xavi has assured the Barca youngster that he will be crucial this season ahead of Fati and Ferran Torres. We are going to discuss on that. So guys, as we get right into the full stories, please do ensure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. With Barcelona getting eager to offload their unwanted players, they appear to have found a solution for this man, Clement Lenglet, who is out of favor. The 28-year-old has no place in Xavi's plans at Barca, and as such, has spent the last season on loan at Tottenham Hotspur. Talks has been underway with Tottenham over a permanent transfer over the past month or so, with the player himself having been keen on a move back to North London. However, an agreement between the two parties could not be arrived at over the transfer fee, with Barcelona holding out for 15 million euros, while Spurs were willing to pay only 5 million euros as they would be taking on his big wages as well. So now the question is, Lenglet heading to Saudi Arabia? As such, Barcelona had been looking at other avenues to offload Clement Lenglet, with Al Nassr having been touted as a possible destination. Now the Athletic is reporting that the Blaugrana outcast is close to signing for the Saudi Arabian club. Al Nassr have been recruiting heavily from Europe this summer, with things kicking off with Cristiano Ronaldo's signing back in the January transfer window. Since then, they have added, other players like Sadio Mane, Seko Fofana, Alex Telles, and Marcelo Brozovic. And now, Lenglet could be set to join the aforementioned players at the Riyadh-based outfit. The Frenchman Lenglet had been on the club's radars for a while now, with talks having been taking place already in the past about a transfer, but the player's reluctance had led to the move stalling. However, with options fast running out, Lenglet could be open to the possibility of a move to Saudi Arabia now, with the transfer understood to be close to completion. Building on that, Spanish outlet Sport is reporting that Al Nassr are willing to offer 10 million euro plus 5 million in variables for Clement Lenglet. That influx of cash, coupled with the release of his wages, could help Barcelona further with the player registration and new signings as well. Lenglet joined Barcelona from Sevilla back in 2018 in a deal worth 35 million euros, and he has gone to make 160 appearances for the club. And as things stand, it is unlikely that he will add to that tally. Very unlikely. We know Xavi has already made it clear to Lenglet, as well as some other out of favor stars in the squad, that he won't be part of his plans. That is why a possible transfer, is now on the card. Saudi Arabian side Al Nassr have been pushing for a move, in the past couple of days. We quite remember Al Nassr came to the picture last month, but the player quickly rejected the move, still thinking that Tottenham Hotspur was his destination, as the player have always fancied staying in Europe, despite the high amounts of offer that they show him over there. But the way things are going, things are not looking optimistic as to staying in Europe for Lenglet. That is why the player now have opened the doors for a possible move to Saudi League, and Al Nassr have been the club showing the most interest. And the good thing is the club are already willing to pay the 15 million, 10 million fixed plus 5 in variables. So it remains to be seen how the negotiations between Barca and Anas go. But from the look of things, Barca will be trying to facilitate this move, knowing fully well that if they don't use this advantage to kick him out of the club, then it's going to be very, very problematic for us because Barca don't even want to keep Lenglet or even Des, who are of no use because it will be, at the end of the day, it will be a waste of salary, a waste of income, or just to keep them there, whereas Barca are struggling to have something to run the club, and to pay salaries have not been easy. So I think with the summer window fast approaching to an end, Lenglet's move to Al Nassr will have to be made to come true because despite the past reports of the player saying that he wants to stay in Europe, he doesn't want to go to Saudi Arabia. I think with time, he's changing his stance, and a move to Saudi Arabia now looks like a big possibility. Then, on to the next story of discussion. Lamine Yamal has shaken up Barcelona in the best way he can, with the recently turned 16-year-old, you know, dazzling everybody with his fearlessness and his technical ability. Now with Dembele's departure, Rafinha also picking up a red card against Getafe on Sunday night, Xavi Hernandez is once again left with a dilemma regarding who will play on the wings in that upcoming game. Cadiz, much like Getafe, are a side who have proven so difficult for Barca to break down, and stretching the play down the flanks will be absolutely vital if FC Barcelona are to improve on their poor showing to the start of the season. Reports from Dario AS now suggest that the Catalans could turn on the teenager in the game against Cadiz, and that he is now higher up the pecking order, even above Ansu Fati and Ferran Torres. The latter two have faced some major fluctuations in their form, but those two had a promising preseason, which makes it difficult to see Yamal getting extended game time ahead of those two. A big factor that needs to be considered with Yamal is to give him enough time to settle into the demands of senior football. Rushing Yamal, I think, into playing more longer periods with high intensity could threaten his long-term development as a player, as he is still very young. However, 16-year-old is the perfect impact substitution to add threat in the latter stages of the game. So guys, with that, we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye bye.